Do 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 do. Hey, talked about this a couple days ago. I made an assumption, and that's when I always make a mistake on certain things. Like when I got the 16-1.4 Fujifilm lens, X-mount lens, and I thought, this is gonna be that great, and it turns out it's the best Fujifilm lens. Everybody got that lens pretty much agrees with me also. Of course, it depends on what you want to do. I made a video a couple days ago about the 45-100 on an attribute that I assumed, and I've already done the full review on the 45-100, that it would be the same as every other GFX lens. The 1.4 teleconverter, yes, it's a $320 teleconverter. It's basically just a CPU pass-through that lets you use the 45-1. And by the way, macro extension tubes are a lot more useful and fun and less aggravating to use on zoom lenses because you have a range. Otherwise, you stick it on a prime lens, you sit here and you actually have to rock back and forth to find this really small sweet spot. And that becomes a real pain in the ass. So, until the 45-100 came out, the 32-64 was the best lens to use that macro extension tube on, but it still was, it's okay, it's alright. Yeah, it's okay. It's nothing to write home about. Holy crap, I spent nearly 5 hours indoors, outdoors, and outdoors again with the macro extension tube on the 45-100, and that thing is awesome! At any focal length, I don't have to sit there and rock back and forth. There is a small sweet spot from about 45 to 60 millimeters, but it's not small. But my God, and I have every GFX lens, including the 120 millimeter macro. Let me tell you flat out right now, I would rather have this as my macro lens for use with the GFX 50S or 50R, GFX 100, and I have all of those, than the 120 millimeter. This is now, undeniably, it's like, well, that's your opinion. Well, you're right, it is, but some opinions are worth more than others. Undeniably now, and this is a very useful lens. Let's talk about the focal range here. Basically a 24 to 50 equivalent, yeah? And over here we have basically a 38, well, let's say 35 to 80. It's technically 78, but let's say 35 to 80 for simplicity's sake. So 24 to 50 and 35 to 80, essentially. Okay, and I know that, you know, if you need wide, you know, this is a lot wider than this is. But undeniably now, I can state with no hesitation, and I just put this in my Fujifilm book for the 3rd edition, that knowing the absolutely amazing attributes, and this was, and I was hoping it would be exactly what it is, but it was actually a lot more than I thought, because I assumed, and I made a mistake in assuming, it's like, this lens is going to be the same as the 32-64 with that damn macro extension tube. That macro extension tube now is, I'm so glad I bought it. Before, you know, it's like, oh Lord, you know, yeah, not really. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend anybody buy it. But with this lens, I easily can. Oh my God. This lens is so much use. This is easily the single most useful lens, even over that of the 32-64. It's like, yeah, but your favorite lens is the 45-2.8, and it is. It's got the best output, and it's a small little compact lens. It's easily the best Fujifilm prime lens. But the 45-100, the focal range, it's got a really great bokeh, by the way, optical image stabilization. It's a more useful range for more things. Street, candid, portraiture. It's a poor man's 110 millimeter f2. I have that lens also. There's nobody that's going to scoff at portraiture or headshots with the 45-100 over that of the 110 millimeter f2. They're just not. This is easily, with now the incredible attributes with for macro photography, with the MCEX 18G, not the 45, no, the 18G, easily the most single most useful GFX lens, period. I will never backpedal on that unless Fujifilm comes out with like a magic lens. I don't think they are, because I know the next 2 lenses. I got all 10 GFX lenses. There's 2 more coming out, that 33 millimeter and the 80 millimeter short portraiture lens. They have no chance of topping this. So everybody in the world, rightfully so, was buying this. It's like, yeah, I can only afford one lens for my new GFX camera system. It's like, well, this is it. And if you do need mostly wide, obviously this is still it, because this is a 45 to 100 and this is a 32 to 64. Yeah, so obviously these are not the same focal lengths. But for doing most things, oh my god, I could just glue this freaking lens onto any one of my GFX cameras. Not literally, but glue it on there, be happy. But I wouldn't be able to do that because I don't want to take it off and stick that MCEX 18G macro extension tube on there and use this. Oh my god, this makes this lens so wonderful for going out and doing flowers and bugs, just all sorts of on-location, close-up macro stuff. This lens is awesome! I just had to tell you that because nobody has reported. The number of people that have all the GFX lenses is basically like that. The number of people that actually have tested this lens with the MCEX 18G macro extension tube is like, I think I'm it. There might be one other person out there, but they're not on YouTube, that's for damn sure. And I'm not seeing any forum posting about this topic either. Trust me when I tell you this, with this lens and that macro extension tube, this lens is the cat's ass, the bee's knees. It's awesome. Is the output on the 45-2.8 better? Yeah, I mean, it's the best GFX lens. Is it a one-trick pony? No. It's not. I mean, use it for a lot of stuff. I'm not comparing it in that fashion. What I'm saying is, like, knowing what I know, I could afford one GFX camera and one lens, and this would be the lens with the macro extension tube, mind you. Because with that, I could do telephoto portraiture, telephoto landscape, portraiture, weddings, macro photography, street, near-range photojournalism. I get to do everything with this lens, pretty much. I mean, it's not obviously ideal for indoor architecture like the 23mm f4 is it? No, it's not. That lens is also awesome. I think I made my damn point. Do you think I made it? I think I did make it. Thank you. I rest my case. Peace out. Wait for it. Fudgeville. Wait a minute. There we go. There we go.